What's up, my friend? Welcome back to the Full-Time Wedding Pro podcast. My name is Peyton Helm, the host of this beautiful podcast that I love dearly. Today we're talking about how to book weddings with meta ads, and we're going to be doing a live Q&A. It's kind of live. We are live on Instagram and YouTube, as we are every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then obviously these are recorded and uploaded to Spotify and YouTube. So if you want more of these, subscribe based on whatever platform you want. We're also on Apple Podcasts. I'm an Apple Podcast listener personally, but I don't. I love you guys who are on Spotify too. Anyway, so we're going to be answering live questions. I have a lot of questions that I've been asked over and over and over and over and over again from people who are potentially wanting to work with me in Full-Time Wedding Pro, and also from Full-Time Wedding Pro clients. I get obviously a lot of questions there. A lot of them are on that side, are a little bit more in-depth, but this is going to be, in general, an entire guide, right, on how to book weddings with meta ads, okay? It's going to be question and answer focused. Now, what I want to just go ahead and like shatter some of your all's, expectations for a second. Obviously, in this live podcast episode type of thing, I'm not literally going to be going and sharing screen and like, here's how to set up a campaign. Number one, that's not helpful to you at all. Number two, you can already watch 10,000 YouTube videos that show that. And it's, we follow a very similar campaign structure to everybody else out there. The most important part of getting results with meta ads is not actually setting up the campaign, right? What has way more weight in getting results through meta ads is way more important with your ads that you create, with the people that you're speaking to in the ads, with knowing your ideal client and having a website and an Instagram and an overall brand that is actually going to convert them, and then having a sales process that is actually going to limit yourself getting ghosted and actually close these people. And a lot of people are surprised that leads who come from ads don't close as easily as people who come from referrals. I don't know why. That's not common knowledge, but it is. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about basically how to book weddings with meta ads, and we're going to be doing it in a question and answer format. And we're going to be talking about ad strategies. We're going to be talking about how much you should spend. We're going to be talking about how to get higher quality leads from meta ads. We're going to be talking about if you should run ads year long, right? Or not, if we should just do it during specific, seasons, talking about how to make sure these people aren't ghosting you as much. And then whatever other questions you guys have in the chat about meta ads. And no question is stupid. If you ask a question that I already am going to cover, then I'll just say that. But if you guys have questions specifically, feel free to drop them in. This is going to be one of the podcast episodes where all of the questions make it into the recording, because usually week by week, we'll do like a topic and then we'll cut the podcast and then we'll do like a live Q&A. But whatever you guys have, we're going to do it. So let's go ahead and start with probably the most common question, which is, hey, Peyton, what ad strategies work best so I can get weddings booked? So we're going to start there. And I'm going to chill a little bit because we're going to settle into this and we're going to talk, okay? And also, shout out protein soda. It's 20 calories, 4 grams of protein, and it tastes absolutely incredible. I'm not sponsored by whatever company makes these. I just got it at Aldi. So anyway, first question is, what ad strategies work best? And there's a lot here, okay? Let's start with every ad strategy that you could run as a wedding photographer or videographer. And by the way, I always make content for wedding photographers and videographers. If you are other vendors, like if you planner or a venue or a DJ or a caterer or whatever, I don't care. This stuff will work for you too. I just personally don't work with you unless you're a photographer or filmmaker in Full-Time Wedding Pro. So anyway, thank you, Jebevers, for the question. I love the question and we'll answer it. So like I said, guys, put questions in the chat if you guys have them and I'll cover them, okay? So first question is, what ad strategies work best? Let's start with all the ad strategies. So there's a lot of ad strategies out here, okay? Let's start with the ones we don't like and we'll talk about the ones we do like. The ones we don't like, if you charge any more than like $3,000 minimum, right, for one service for a local wedding. So like, you're living here in, Tennessee, whatever, let's say Nashville, right? You live in Nashville and you book a Nashville wedding on a normal weekend and it's like a full day thing and you're charging $3,000 for like just photography or just videography, right? If you charge that or more, then you don't want to do these strategies that I'm about to tell you to. Okay, so the first strategy is an engagement session giveaway strategy. So this is where basically you run an ad campaign and you say, I'm going to give away 5 engagement sessions to these couples. And then, different educators, there's been educators popping up in the industry and stuff, and agencies still do this, good Lord, where either one, you'll actually give away the engagement session and like you'll actually do it for free, or two, you're fucking bullshitting people and you just get couples on the phone who want a free engagement session and then you're like, hey, Would you like to book me? Would you like to give me some money, even though you just submitted your contact information for a free thing? And for some fucking reason, all these educators and agencies think this is a really good way to book weddings. If you're under 3K, it's fine. Works great, because these people who want something for free usually will have a perceived budget of around $1,000 or $2,000 for like normal service. But usually they're nightmare clients to work with. So we don't like this. Same thing goes with the whole special offer thing. So free add-ons, right? If you're a videographer and you're like, oh, the next 5 brides who inquire with me are going to get a free fucking documentary edit or something. Or the next 5 brides who book me for photography will get a free album or whatever. Those don't work that well if you are, again, charging more than $3,000 minimum. Now, I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible to book a wedding at 5 or 10K if you're doing this, because obviously there's proof out there that says the opposite. But like I've been told 1,000 times in my Instagram DMs from those of you guys who buy these courses or hire these agencies who run these fucking strategies, discounts and free add-ons and giveaways, you have to sort through like 200 leads a month who all want something for free and have a $500 budget just to get your 5,000 or your 10,000 who just slipped in there because they have some money, but they still want something for free. That's the downside. Now, if you have infinite time, there you go. It's a great strategy. Go for it. But it's not great. And I think this is these are very popular strategies because there's not enough good advertisers in the wedding industry that can actually teach you how to get higher quality inquiries from ads without giving something away or having a special offer. A lot of these coaches come from either like they themselves charge like $1 or $2 or $3,000, or they come from outside the industry like e-com or whatever, and then they're teaching ads and all they know how to do is run discounts and giveaways. Now, there are only a couple of educators, myself included, who actually can help you and teach you strategies that get you higher quality leads without doing that. And I'm very happy to be one of the few. And if any of you guys don't like me and you want to hire an educator that teaches what I teach, I will literally give you their names. I'm just not going to do it publicly because that would be dumb. So, because they're my competition. Like, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, if you want to book or get inquiries that are not fucking broke or don't want something for free. I'm cussing a lot in this. Sorry if you guys are offended by that. I don't usually do that a lot, but I'm on a roll today. So sorry. Don't play this around kids. So anyway, if you're wanting to get higher quality inquiries, which is actually a question that I'm going to answer later, so we're not going to dive too deep in on that, but we're talking about strategies. If you want higher quality inquiries, don't run those strategies. Just plain and simple, do not run those strategies. And by quality, okay, I mean people who can afford what you want to sell, who can afford what you sell. That's what I'm trying to say. And who are having the type of wedding that you want to shoot and are actually a good personality match. Okay, they're not freaking weird. So I'm all about what filters inquiries go through the qualify. Yeah, exactly. Do better weddings. That was sorry. Anyway, so what works to start in July season? Okay, we'll cover that too. I like your questions, y'all coming in. So if you have questions about meta ads, please put them in the chat and I will answer them. I promise. So now I've strung you guys on long enough. What strategies work great for booking weddings at a good price point? We're going to start with Instagram-based strategies and then we'll move to the website-based strategies. So there are 2 strategies that I really, really like that are Instagram focused. Okay. Now these are just going to be kind of high level overall breakdowns of the strategy. All right. So just understand that. So because like the real sauce I give for the people who join Full-Time Wedding Pro and like, here's what to say and how to convert these people. So we're going high level overview. And if you want like the actual intricate details, join Full-Time Wedding Pro. So over high level, the easiest and the cheapest and the most beginner friendly way to get leads through Instagram is to simply run follower ads. Okay. I love follower ads. Now follower ads, you can literally just like run these on like you could learn these on YouTube. It's a very easy strategy. It's not a strategy worth like, gatekeeping behind a paywall, which is why it's not the only strategy I teach. So follower ads are great. Follower ads are super easy too, because you don't have to necessarily run ads in the Meta Ads Manager. Okay. So I'm talking about Instagram specifically here. So a lot of these strategies, actually every strategy that we're going to talk about after this one is going to be done in the ads manager. So you have to have a Meta business account. You have to have a Meta pixel. You have to have it, linked up with either your CRM or your websites or whatever. So, that's obviously more advanced, but follower ads are a great way to run just on Instagram and get followers in. Okay. Now, a lot of people ask me, hey, should I boost posts or should I run in the ads manager? For my clients in Full-Time Wedding Pro, I would recommend you run this in the ads manager because you don't have to, but you can, and there's better options for it, which I'm not going to break down super in depth here. But you guys can also boost posts for follower ads. Stay with me. If you've heard that boosting posts don't work, it's because people fucking teach them wrong and people do them wrong. So if you're boosting posts for follower ads, you have to understand that your goal is to get a follower. Okay? Stay with me. Your goal is to get a follower, not to get an inquiry on your website, not to get a message. Okay? If you're boosting, this is just if you're boosting, or if you run, a campaign in the ads manager to your Instagram, the goal is followers. Now, what you do then is you go through the followers and you talk to the followers who are actually couples who, from what you can tell, seem like they would be a good fit for what you offer. Okay? And again, what you offer is going to be wildly different with everyone. Some of you guys are elopement photographers and filmmakers. Some of you guys just do film only for a specific type of wedding. Some of you guys are luxury, whatever that means. Some of you guys are high price, low price, whatever, average price. Like everybody's different here. Some of you guys do destination. Some of you guys only do local. Some of you guys are studio brands with huge associate teams. Everybody's different, right? So you have to understand, number one, what your ideal clients want to see, what types of weddings they're having. We talked about this in the last video or the last podcast. And then also, what they can afford, okay? And then you put that in the ad that you run, whether it is a previously organic post on your Instagram that has done very, very well, or you purposely create it to boost. Put some money behind it. Doesn't have to be a lot. 10, 20 bucks a day is plenty. Even you can go cheaper. And then you have conversations with those followers. You get them on sales calls. You close them. It's a very simple strategy. This strategy is what we start off with in Full-Time Wedding Pro. When people join, we say, hey, you should probably try this strategy first. If anything, because it is a really good way to very cheaply test ads to then go into the website strategies, which is a lot of sauce that I just gave out for free. And I kind of regret saying that, but it's fine. So whatever. So anyway, there you go, right? Getting followers in, having conversations. People will run this in Full-Time Wedding Pro. Clients will run this and they'll literally book 20 to 50K in weddings in a month with like $600 in ad spend. I've seen it happen. It's wild. Now, obviously, too, there are downsides. If you're boosting posts, you have to kind of do it one post at a time for like a week or two. And then if the post you're boosting isn't good and it doesn't get you good followers, and then you have to take it down and you have to kind of do another one, which is why I recommend if you're running follower ads and you work with me in Full-Time Wedding Pro, you run it in the ads manager so you can test all the ads at once. It's very simple. That ad strategy is fantastic. Now, yes, you have to have a very well built and refined Instagram for this to work. If you just have like a basic Instagram that like 98% of photographers and filmmakers have out there, where they're just kind of posting their stuff and they don't have any story highlights and they don't, they're not very active, it's probably not going to work that great. Sorry. You have to have a good active Instagram. And that is the same thing for the next strategy that we'll talk about. But just going back on follower ads for a second, I learned I'm sold heading to Aldi. Yes, we love the protein. We love the protein sodas. Again, 20 calories, 4 grams of protein. And guys, listen, I should get sponsored by Joyburst, is who makes this. Listen, the ingredients, we're just gonna pause here for a second. Listen to the ingredients. Carbonated water, obviously whey protein isolate, so no extra crazy ingredients. Bovine collagen peptides, I don't know what that is. I know peptides, but whatever. Citric acid, natural flavors. I don't know how I feel about natural flavors. Potassium sorbate, which is a preservative, so and sucralose. If you're not on like a super crazy diet where it's like, hey, I can't do any of like those extra ingredients, this is fantastic. Great alternative to super sugary like sodas and then like crazy stuff. And there's no caffeine, but it's protein, so it's like cool. Okay, whatever. Back on the topic of meta ads. So I learned follower ads, fun fact, as a coach in the coaching industry. And I saw people who were running follower ads and they were doing over $1 million a year. Successful derailment, exactly. Over $1 million a year just from follower ads alone. So guys, do not discount follower ads, but they also come with their own downsides, okay? Because you have to know what to say in the DMs, right? You have to manage all those objections, okay? You've got to get them on calls. You have to know how to close them. You've got to have a good offer. Right. There's a lot that goes into it. Okay. It's not just, and you also have to have good ads that are actually going to get good quality people. In some, for those joining late, boost good performing organic posts, target new followers, screen. Yes, exactly. Do better weddings. Thank you. So that's follower ads. That's just one strategy. Okay. But that strategy is great. It's a great strategy. It's a beginner strategy, but it's a fantastic strategy. I love it. So second strategy, also Instagram specific, is message. So DM ads. You guys have probably seen those, right? I love DM ads, especially now that Meta has updated their the ads manager, so that way you can actually use their AI, and it auto determines a conversation as a lead, and you can optimize for leads through DMs. Literally for like the last 6 years, we've been running DM ads. That has not been an option, and it's been absolutely incredible. Saturated Visions, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So that has not been an option until now. Like before, when running DM ads, you essentially only optimize for cost per DM. And then what we do in Full-Time Wedding Pro is we help you set up the pixel, so that way you know, okay, like this DM ad is getting me calls booked, and this one's getting me bookings, and this one's getting me, you know, people who are qualified and all this stuff. So we have like other things there. But now you can optimize for leads for the DMs. It's so great. I love it. And you don't have to do any kind of like, you know, give me your email, whatever. Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. So thank God. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for doing that. It probably wasn't him, but whatever. So anyway, DM ads. Whoa, my bad. DM ads. DM ads are great. I'm getting a little bit too excited right now. So DM ads are great. And it, honestly, like you do run that in the ads manager, and they have all the pros and cons of follower ads. As far as like, are they expensive? Are they cheap? We kind of see them around the same as follower ads. Only downside with DM ads is you can't boost. So you have to do it through the ads manager, which I don't see that as a downside necessarily. I prefer ads manager just because you can test more at the same time, and it's faster. You get a little bit of a better return on investment because of that. So anyway, I love DM ads. DM ads are a great strategy if you don't want to use your website for ad success. And then the other two strategies are website. Well, actually, we have one more that's Instagram focused, but it's retargeting, so we're going to not touch on that just yet. So the other main ad strategy is we have running people to your website. Now, we call this DTO, direct to offer. That apparently that term has been stolen, but whatever. I brought it to the wedding industry. So if you hear DTO, that was me. Thank you. Anyway, so we run people to the website, and you can run people to a landing page. Films by TRM, thank you for following. Appreciate it. I'm just going to start saying thank you if you guys follow me. Okay, so we run ads directly to the homepage if you aren't going location specific or offer specific. Okay, so what that means is, let's use our Nashville example. If you're in Nashville and you're a wedding photographer or you're a wedding videographer, and you want to book like kind of local Nashville weddings, right? And you don't want to do anything crazy, and you would target Tennessee or outside of Tennessee or wherever, then you would literally just send people to your homepage. Now, in Full-Time Wedding Pro, because we need the website to be really good, okay? So in Full-Time Wedding Pro, we have a structure checklist that all of our clients go through, and we have website examples from all of our successful students. Not all, but most of our successful students. So that way you know how to structure your website, okay? So sending people to the homepage, or if you have a location-specific offer, okay, so for me, I'm in East Tennessee. Let's say I want to go back to Iceland and shoot an elopement. I would do a landing page for that location, advertise to the whole United States, because I'm obviously wanting to get couples who are all over the United States who want to elope in Iceland, or specific states if I want to do that too, doesn't matter. And I send them to that landing page, okay? And then on that landing page, obviously, like, again, we have a structure checklist. I'm not going to go too deep into it on this for free. But, you know, we've got Peyton knows ball. I do know ball. Thank you, Brad. Brad is a very successful client of mine. So listen to him. Brad knows ball. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, landing page. So obviously on the landing page, you would have info about the location, portfolio there, pricing information if you want to have it up there, and then a dedicated contact form. So whether you do a homepage or landing page doesn't matter on the website strategy. It's just dependent on your offer. So if you have a normal offer, like 99% of your weddings are just going to be in like a local area or just US wide or whatever, then that's what you would do. Send people to the homepage. Now, I don't think I can say this. One of my educator friends who teaches ads, that's very good, runs a landing page specific strategy for ads, even for local weddings, which is great. And they have success. I don't think I can say who it is because they probably get mad at me. So for revealing strategies. So it works great for me and for our clients. Homepage has worked great as well. But I don't really see a big difference. So anyway, if you're running people to the website, just know and understand it is a more expensive strategy, especially if you're showing pricing, okay? Which we'll talk about later in this live stream. So that is that strategy. And then the last strategy we have is what I call Omni. Now, How many of you guys put in the chat, see my face every freaking day? Let me know in the chat if you do. And I will drink my protein. I keep calling this a protein shake in my head, but it's a protein soda. So Omni is my omnipresent retargeting strategy. Okay. And Omni, the goal of it is to stay top of mind in your clients' heads. Okay. Right. Once a week for me. Well, I guess I need to spend more then. Right. So Omni is how we stay in front of our clients constantly, day in, day out. Right. And with Omni, we're not making ads that look like ads. We're making ads that look like content. Okay. Every day. Yeah, exactly. Right. So we're making ads that look like content, and we're also making specific ads that answer specific questions. Okay. We are making ads that show client testimonials. We're making ads that show example galleries. We're making ads that show all kinds of stuff, right? Because these retargeting ads, the goal of them, we run them side by side with whatever our main strategy is. Okay. And we get, what we see with this is we get a lower cost per inquiry, a higher qualified lead. We see them show up to calls more, and we see them close more. It is an incredible strategy. I love it. I don't see anybody else in the wedding industry running the strategy, and I'm not going to give too much else info about it because I don't want people to steal it, because it's so good. It is so good. Okay. All right, cool. Jay Beavers, I see you. So we're actually going to move on to this next. So to recap, what ad strategies work best if you're charging more than $3,000 all the way up to like $10,000 for a local wedding for just photography or just videography? What strategies work best? Number one, follower ads on your Instagram. Get the followers in, have conversations with them, book calls, close them. Okay. Number two, message ads, Instagram DM ads. Okay. Optimize for leads through the DMs. Okay. And then the same process as follower ads. You have the DM conversation, you get them on a call, you close them. Or if you're like Kayla from Classy, she DM closes all of them and she makes like insane amounts of money. You guys have probably seen her on my testimonials. She literally DM closes like 10 to 15K weddings. It's wild. I love her. So anyway, that's second strategy. Third strategy is you send people to the website and you get an inquiry through the website. Great strategy, very consistent strategy. More expensive. You're probably only going to be shooting for like a 10x profit on that strategy. And it's also more expensive in the beginning testing phase because you're spending more per inquiry. I think I just cut on Instagram again. I don't know why that happens. But anyway, so website strategy. Okay. And then fourth is Omni, which is my retargeting, which is where we blast people with content that will get them to make the purchasing decision faster. Those are the ad strategies that work best. And that's what we're sticking with. Now, honorable mentions, lead forms. We are testing lead forms right now. The problem with lead forms is, and agencies do this all the time. The problem with lead forms is if you're just like, hey, you know, now booking for 2027 for wedding photography, and then you're just like, inquire here, and it's just like name, wedding date, email, phone number, whatever, you're literally going to get every single fucking person inquiring with you. And then you're going to have to sort through like 1,000 leads just to get a high quality person. So what we're testing is we're actually putting a starting rate in the lead form, and we're trying to see how well that works. What we're trying to see here is if the profit on this and the lifestyle on this is going to beat out the strategies that we already have. Okay. Because it's kind of a mix between getting a website inquiry and getting a DM or getting a follower. So you're not having that DM conversation. So what we're trying to see is, does the math make sense? Is this one of the highest profit strategies? And is it going to work well? I don't have that data yet. We are testing it. We are basically alpha testing it. I've only got a handful of people running it. So that is not a strategy that I'm yet comfortable saying for sure that it works, and thus is not in my course yet. But it might be in the future. We'll see. So anyway, those are the 4 ad strategies that we see working best for a photographer or filmmaker in the wedding industry who is averaging about 5,000 to 7,000 per wedding, and around there. So second question we get all the time, and Jay Beavers, you just asked this: how much are you spending for your videography business? So the question essentially is, how much should I spend on meta ads? Very simple answer to this. So I'm going to break it down. What I tell my clients in Full-Time Wedding Pro, because we also get the question of like, what's a good ROI? So how much should you spend? Actually, let's answer this first. Let's switch this. So what is a good ROI for meta ads as a wedding photographer or wedding filmmaker? If you're running people to your website to get an inquiry through the website and get a booking through there, our baseline is a 10x profit. Okay, so that means you spend $1,000 in ads and you get $10,000 in booking value back. Now, some of you, if you only charge like $1,000 retainer, then cash wise, that'll be a break even per month. So what we usually recommend is we'll have some of our clients do like higher retainers, or we'll push for pay in fulls if we need more cash, or we'll sacrifice the money for new bookings, and then we'll have past bookings pay us the rest of the cash. And then over the year, it'll even out. So that is a good ROI for the website strategy. Now for follower ads and for DM ads and for Omni too, you will have a much higher ROAS. Our base is still 10% or 10x, excuse me. So 1,000 in, 10,000 out, but you will usually see way more than that. So a lot of our clients are reporting 15, 20, 25x profits on that. So that's like 1,000 in, 20,000 out. And I've seen even higher. Those are usually outliers though. Once we go below or go above like 30x profit, that tends to become a little bit of an outlier. And that's somebody who has like a really nailed down ideal client profile, ideal client and brand match, and a really good offer, which is not the majority. Okay. So just understand, like for like a good ROI on ads, a baseline should be a 10x profit. And then above there, you're just soaring. You're doing great, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I only want to spend $100 and get like several wedding bookings. That's just not realistic. I mean, you can do that if you're doing like an engagement session giveaway, but then you're going to be spending all of your time filtering through all those leads, and it's very annoying. So you're literally just exchanging money for time. That's a big mindset shift that we have to talk about with ads. You guys are trading money for more money. You are creating money out of thin air. So who cares if you spent 1,000 if you made 10? I would rather make $9,000 profit out of thin air and barely any work than post on Instagram 5 times a day for a year just to start getting those weddings coming through for free. That's just my mindset. So I don't usually ever get a pushback actually on the 10x profit thing. So I don't know why I'm saying that, but whatever. Because some people just only want to spend, $20 and then get like 10 weddings booked. And that's just not how it works. Like you guys I think all of you guys are mature business owners here, so you understand that. So I'm going to move on from that. So what's a good ROI? 10x profit baseline for what we do. Okay. And then anything above that, like we got clients 15, 20, 25, 30x profits, and it's fantastic. So I love it, right? 10x is just kind of like, if you're below 10x, then I would not qualify that as a success. And then I would want to, if you're working with me, jump on a call with you or multiple calls with you and try to figure out what's going on so we can get that sorted out, or use the group calls in Full-Time Wedding Pro to do that, which is why we have them. So anyway, that's what's a good ROI. Now, the question from there then is, how much should I spend on ads? And I love this question because if we're taking the 10x profit benchmark baseline, then how much should you spend on ads just becomes a math problem. If you want to make 10 grand a month from your weddings, let's say 20, if you want to make 20 grand a month from your wedding bookings, you need to be prepared to spend either $1,000 to $2,000 per month, which comes out to $30 to $60 a day. Okay. So that's where that would be. But you do not start there. You don't start there. Start low and slow. That's how we say it in Full-Time Wedding Pro, low and slow, okay? Start at $10 to $20 a day. Why, Peyton? Why do you do that? Because in the very beginning, you're testing ads. You are testing dozens of ads at the same time. And that ad spend will, guaranteed, go towards ads that do not get results, okay? So you have to be prepared for that. And what I don't want to see is people jumping in Full-Time Wedding Pro and spending $60 to $100 a day, and then, not looking at their ads manager for 3 or 5 days. And then now they've spent $1,000 and got no leads. Okay. So you have to go low and slow. Okay. Low and slow. Give your ads time to mature, 10, $20 a day. And then when you have good numbers, 10x profit, I have other questions here on metrics. Okay. Then you scale, right? Then you get up to that ideal, daily budget. So that's how much you should spend on ads. Now, another question we get a lot is, how soon do you see results? Great, fantastic question. If you have everything set up properly, you've got a good, brand and ideal client match. Okay. You got a high converting website. You've got a high converting Instagram. You know how to get these people on calls and know how to close them. Again, all of this is taught in Full-Time Wedding Pro, right? You should, after launching ads, start seeing inquiries coming in within either a week or two, and then start seeing bookings a couple weeks after that. Most people have about a 14-day time to booking, okay? Because again, these people coming to you from ads are not referrals. Referrals will probably have been pre-sold to you for weeks at a time or have been following you on Instagram for weeks at a time. They've been selling themselves or they've been being sold to you. So by the time they inquire and they get on the phone with you, they're ready to book. That is not how ads work. Because when you show an ad to somebody on Instagram or Facebook, it's the first time probably that they've seen you. And they might get ads over and over and over again. They probably will if you're doing things right. But it will still take them probably a couple weeks to really feel comfortable booking you. That is totally normal. We do have what we call the omni sales process. And the omni sales process in Full-Time Wedding Pro is where you essentially make very purposeful content to show these people during the sales process that will make them close on calls more. And we've seen a huge uptick or at a dramatic decrease in time to booking because of that, okay? But for most of you, if you're just running ads by yourself, you're gonna be expecting about a 14-day time to booking, okay? So from the day you get the inquiry, you're probably gonna average anywhere from 7 to 14 days to get that booking. Very common, okay? So from first launching your ads to getting bookings, you're looking at about a month, maybe 2 months if you go through a lot of ads that don't have good success, which can happen, right? Now, it could be faster. I've had people launch ads and book 20, 50K in weddings in a week, okay? But then I've also had people who launch ads and they don't get anything for a couple of months. It is vastly different depending on the person, but our average is about a month. So that's how soon do you see results? Another question, and then we'll jump to chat, or a few more questions actually. How do you get qualified leads, right? How many of you guys, let me know in the chat, deal with getting unqualified leads in general? Let me know. And feel free to let me know what unqualified means to you. I'm going to scroll back up through the chat on Instagram. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. Nothing crazy. Any tips on what to ask during a client phone call? We can chat about it. How many of you guys deal with unqualified leads? And let me know what unqualified means to you. Because I know we have a little bit of delay, so I'm just going to keep going. If you're getting unqualified leads from ads, there's one of two things happening, or both things could be happening potentially. One, the ad itself is attracting unqualified leads. Okay? I'll give you guys an example. I've had photographers and filmmakers in Full-Time Wedding Pro. This mostly is a photographer problem because wedding films kind of solve this. So I've had photographers in Full-Time Wedding Pro that charge 10K plus, okay? And they shoot very, very high-end, some would call luxury weddings, okay? Very expensive wedding events, beautiful decorations, like couples who are wearing designer clothing, like all that stuff, right? And I've had photographers who do that, and they will run ads of a random couple they've shot, and the photo is like a mountain background, and you can't tell what they're wearing. There's no decorations, there's no venue, there's nothing in the ad that says this is for high quality weddings, expensive, grand, luxurious events. Nothing. So what would you guys expect? You would probably get the average couple, which the average couple would probably come to you with an estimated $2,000 to $3,000 budget because that's the average. So of course, you're not going to get quality leads. Okay? That's the first problem. Second problem is you have a low resistance sales process. Okay, what that means is you do not filter people by the type of wedding they're having or their budget, estimated budget. Now, some people don't care. I have people in Full-Time Wedding Pro. In fact, one of my good friends who is also now a coach. Actually, two of them. Funny enough that I mentioned that. Two of them that are good friends and now coaches in their own programs who run ads with a low resistance sales process, meaning they have like a very nice ad or collection of ads. They have a very nice high branded website, right? It's super specific with the types of weddings they want, but they don't filter types of weddings on their contact form or budgets on their contact form. They don't care about budgets, and they will regularly get people in who have a $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 budget and talk them up on a sales call to 10,000 plus. Because they said, I don't care if I get low quality leads. I'm just going to sort through them and I'm going to talk them up. And they do incredibly well. Incredibly well. Obviously, they're their own coaches, right? So that is a really good, it can be a really good sales process. Now, if you don't want to have a high or a low resistance sales process, then what you do is on your contact forms or in your Instagram messages, if you're doing that strategy, you only talk to the people who have an estimated budget based around the price that you want to charge. You only let them inquire if they have a budget that you can, work with, basically. Now, obviously, then the question becomes, oh, well, what if like I charge $7,000 and couples come to me thinking they should only spend $2,000, but then when I get them on the phone, I can talk them up. Yeah, you lose that because they don't inquire. Because you literally say, we start at 7, and then in your contact form, you literally say, we start at 7. Is this within budget? So there's pros and cons to both, right? But if your goal is, how do I get higher quality inquiries? In your ad itself, you need to make sure that you are only showing ads that your ideal client would actually resonate with. Okay. And then the second thing is, if you only want high quality leads, then you need to make sure that wherever they get in touch with you, whether that's through the DMs or through your inquiry form, that you are being hyper specific on what you want. And if it's not what you want, you don't let them inquire. Okay. Case in point, this actually happens several times where I have photographers in the program, or filmmakers both, who offer like weddings and elopements and engagements and proposals. And then they're like, hey, Peyton, I only want to do just weddings, or I only want to do just elopements. And then I look at their website and it's like on their contact form, it's like, hey, what service are you having? Boom, 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 boom. And then all over their website, they do all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, bright idea. Only show weddings. Only let them inquire if they're having a wedding. And they're like, whoa, I didn't even think of that. And I'm like, I know, it's crazy, right? And then guess what? They only get wedding inquiries. It's fantastic. So guys, you will get what you show. If you want higher quality inquiries, whatever quality means to you, just make sure that's what you're showing, and make sure that they can only inquire with you and get in touch with you if you actually, or if they pass the qualifications that you want them to pass. Very simple. All right, cool. So, I probably should have answered this earlier. Who do ads work for? This is a really simple question, really simple answer. Ads, meta ads, will work for any photographer or filmmaker in the wedding industry, and really any vendor. For photographers and filmmakers, if you are charging anywhere from $3,000 minimum to about $10,000 starting, is kind of where I start seeing them drop off a little bit. And yeah, that's really it. So like, if you're under $3,000 per wedding, you should work up to getting to the $3,000 starting rate, because under that, you don't really hit a 10x profit that easily, because your cost per booking doesn't necessarily scale in a linear fashion based on how much you charge. Okay, so for example, you would think, okay, if I charge $2,000, my cost per booking should be $200. And if I charge $10,000, my cost per booking should be $1,000. That's not the case. What we see is if you charge $2,000, your cost per booking could be as high as $300 to $400. And if you charge $10,000, we've seen cost per bookings at $500 to $2,000. And if you're charging $5,000 to $7,000, which is my average client, we usually see anywhere from a $500 to a $600 cost per booking. So they don't scale in a linear fashion. Okay. So that's why I say anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 starting rates for one service at a local wedding. That's who ads work best for. If you're doing under $3,000, you might want to run a giveaway. I'm just going to be totally real. You might want to do a discount. You might want to do a giveaway, because that's what works best under $3,000. It just is what it is, If not, then try to work up your price and try to make sure that you're running strategies that actually get higher quality leads in. Okay. So that's who ads work for. And then on the top end, 10,000 plus, I see a little bit of a drop off when people have like a $10,000 starting rate for like local weddings only. It still works at that price, but when you start getting into like 15 and 20, like you really start going after couples who are working with full service planners, and they're pretty much only buying photographers based off of word of mouth. They just don't trust people who come from ads. Now, obviously there are outliers. Okay. I'm not going to say that it doesn't work. There are outliers. But that's just what we see, right? So like Joel, like you asked, like, why do you say bookings that are more than 10,000 don't really work? It's not that bookings over 10,000 don't work. Cause like we have people in the program who do 15, 20, 25, $30,000 weddings, but that's not their starting rate. Okay. If your starting rate's 10,000 for like a local one service only, you are basically going to be starting to attract couples who just work with full service planners. Okay. I'm not saying you can't do it. We have people in the program who do it every day. Their work, it's great. But I start to see once you go above 10,000 for a starting rate for a local wedding for one service, that's when it starts to drop off. It's not just dead at 10,000. It starts to drop off, and it's brand specific. I have people who have that starting rate who book all the time. And I've worked with people who have that starting rate that struggle to book at that starting rate. And then they're booking at 8,000 and 9,000 with ads. And then for people who come from planners, they're going up. This is what it is. Every brand has a golden price point with ads, which we can talk about too in maybe another video. Okay. How much time do ads take? Now, this is usually a question that we get for people who want to join Full-Time Wedding Pro. How much time do I have to spend with ads? This is different for everyone. Okay. So, and we can also speak to if you're joining Full-Time Wedding Pro, if you're not. If you already have a very well optimized website that maybe you've run ads to before, or maybe it's just done well organically, right? Then as far as the ad setup goes, setting up the ads manager, setting up a campaign, setting up the ads, a couple hours a week. You can get it up within a week, right? 2, maybe 4 hours of work. It's not a lot of time, especially if you have past Instagram posts that have done very well with getting you guys bookings. Very simple. If you don't, and you're creating everything from scratch, it might take you 4 or 5 hours just to have everything completely ready to go. Plus, if you have to work on your website, it might take a little bit more time. If you have to work on your Instagram, it might take a little bit more time. Ad management, though, is very optimized. Okay. I am in my ads manager. Once my ads are running, most of the time when I go to my ads manager, I'm just looking at the data. I'm just making sure we're good. And if it's not good, I will turn off ads and I'll test more. I will probably spend anywhere from about 2 to 4 hours per month in my ads manager working on things. And I'm spending $350 a day. So whatever math you want to do, just take that into consideration. It's not a lot of time. Okay. About 2 to 4 hours a month is what we usually see. Now, this will go up if you're running different ad strategies, if you're testing things, if you're, diving into retargeting, you're doing all this stuff, right? It'll go up. But usually we're looking at 2, maybe 4 hours a week total if you are wanting to join Full-Time Wedding Pro and you're wanting to go through the entire program and all that stuff. It's not a lot of time. Some people spend more, some people spend less. It's easy. Okay. Should I run ads year round? Another common question we get. I love this question because it's actually going to be a different answer for everyone. So for me, I don't run ads year round for my wedding business. I don't run ads year round because I only want to book a handful of elopements per year. That's all I care about. So whenever I want more bookings, I'll turn on ads. I don't care what time of year it is. I don't care what's going on in the global political economic scale. I mean, as long as we're not like about to die, then it's fine. Or COVID is happening, I don't care. I will turn ads on and I'll keep them running until I hit my goal and then I'm done. That's what I do. People in Full-Time Wedding Pro, depends. If you want to book 30 to 100 weddings a year or 200 weddings a year, if you have a big associate team, run ads all year long. You're gonna be great. But sometimes we'll have people who run ads and then they'll be like 85 to 90% booked. And then every inquiry that comes through on ads is like for dates that you've already been booked on. If you start seeing that, you probably want to turn your main ads off and then run specific campaigns for time of year, which we talk about. But obviously, January, February, March, Q1 in general is the best time to run ads as a photographer or filmmaker. But it's not like that good where I would say don't run ads year round. We have people lighting up our wins channel in Full-Time Wedding Pro year round. Year round. The only time it starts to drop off a little bit is around December. That's really it. Just, everybody's like, traveling with family and all that stuff. But then like after Christmas, boom, goes right back up. So I love year round, but it just kind of depends. If you're fully booked, don't run ads. Just turn them off. Like there's no point. Like you're just wasting money at that point if you're fully booked, Okay. Boom, 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 boom. That's the majority of the questions I had. I had another question that people ask me from time to time, like, hey, Peyton, do you run ads for me? I don't. I am doing a beta test right now where I'm working with a couple clients who I am running ads for. I'll be real with you guys. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it. I would much rather teach and have you guys do it. But I'm doing it. Now, what I do offer, if you guys are looking at joining Full-Time Wedding Pro, I do offer where I will go in and I will set up your ads manager for you, and I will set up a couple campaigns for you, but I do not do active management, and I don't make ads for you. Okay. Here's why. If you guys are looking at hiring an agency to run ads for you, please don't. And I'll tell you why. Remember what we talked about earlier, how most agencies run, free add-on, here's a discount, I'll work with your budget, get a free engagement session giveaway. They do that because that's all they can do as an agency. Okay. The reason why is because if you want to be successful in attracting clients to your wedding business who can afford $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 and more, you have to know how to speak to those clients. You have to know what to show to those clients. And that is different in every single wedding brand. It's completely different. So what works great as an ad for one wedding brand is not going to work great for another ad for another wedding brand. Okay? So that's why it's extremely hard to get good results if you hire an agency, because that requires intimate knowledge about your ideal clients and what they want to see and what has worked for you in the past and showing. You have that knowledge. I don't. So if I were to make ads for you, I would have no idea what your ideal clients want to see. I could guess and we could test it and we might have success. But like I've been running these strategies for 5 years. Somebody who is an agency owner who has been running an engagement session giveaway and a discount strategy and whatever else for their entire business, they're not going to know that. So I could do it. They probably can't. So if you're thinking about hiring an agency, just know you're going to spend a $5,000 to $10,000 retainer in the very beginning. And then they're either going to charge you a monthly retainer of $1,000 to $2,000, or they're going to charge you profit share. So there you go. That's why I say don't hire an agency. Do it yourself. Ideally hire a coach, so that way you're not just trying and wasting money with YouTube videos, including this one, right? That's why I make these. So that way I can tell you guys how this stuff works. Then if you want to, you can hire me, So that's why I say don't hire an agency. All right. Now, that is all the questions I had in my notes. What questions do you guys have? Let me know. Which I actually see some. Let's look at Instagram. Just make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, YouTube, we're good on Instagram. How long after sign up before you go over a new client's website and socials? Ardsley Park, it just depends. So if you jump on a coaching call and you want me to look at it any Tuesday and Thursday, then that's kind of what we do. But it kind of just depends on the changes you make. If somebody joins Full-Time Wedding Pro and they've not made, they go through my material and which teaches you what to do, on your website, how to structure it, and you don't make any changes, then I don't look at it. But if you've made the changes and you jump on a coaching call and we look at it, then that's when. So it's really just up to you based on when you make the changes. Are there months of the year that are better for running ads or that are worth having a higher budget for? Yeah. So I recommend running ads all year long until you get booked up, but January through March, great time to run ads. I usually recommend increasing budget January through March just because it's so good. March is a little weird this year. But yeah. Did you hear about Lead Lens from Sam Hurd? No, did not. Nope, don't know what that is. I got choked on my protein soda. Excuse me. Okay. What else y'all got for me? Questions wise. Drop it in the chat. Oh gosh. All right, we are out of questions. So that is it for this podcast episode. My friends, so I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. I'll probably still hang on live for a little bit. So we'll, chat, answer some questions there. But if you've been watching this on the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, thank you for watching, my friend. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of these. And if you want to work with me in Full-Time Wedding Pro and you want me to help you run ads to book weddings at a very high profit, ideally, then go to fulltimeweddingpro.com, or you can message me on Instagram at Peyton Helm and we will chat about it. Love you, friends. See you in the next podcast episode. Adios.